Hi 6th graders, I hope you've been doing well. Today we are going to work on the second part of 6.4 lesson. We're still solving proportions and we're still solving them using cross products. So if you have not watched part 1, please go and watch that one first and then come back and watch this one. Alright, so we're using the same notes from the other day. Okay, what we're doing now is we're going to work on the word problem. So go down to the second page and we are doing number 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so let's get started. In the United States, 12 out of every 15 people prefer eating at a restaurant over eating at home. We need to use the ratio to predict how many people out of 500 would prefer eating at a restaurant. Alright, so we need to set up our proportions. So that's two ratios. Okay, our first ratio they give to us, 12 out of every 15 people. Okay, so that is your first ratio, 12 out of 15, and we're setting it equal to another ratio. Okay, next it says use the ratio to predict how many people out of 500 would prefer eating at a restaurant. So when it says out of 500, is that 500 the top number or is that the bottom number? Right, that's the bottom number because that's our total. Now we want to figure out how many people if we asked 500 people, we want to know how many people would rather eat at a restaurant. So our top number is X. We don't know what that is. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's cross multiply and solve. So we are taking 12 times 500 and setting that equal to 15 times X. Alright, and then we draw our line. 12 times 500 is 6,000, and that is equal to 15 times X is just 15X. Now remember, we want X by itself, so we need to do some dividing. Get rid of that 15. Okay, our 15s cancel out. We're just left with X. 6,000 divided by 15 gives us 400. Alright, and we're solving a word problem, so we need a label. That 400 is talking about people. So 400 people. And that is your answer. Alright, next let's go to number 2. There are 810 calories in 3 scoops of ice cream. How many calories are there in 7 scoops of ice cream? Alright, so if we take a look at our first ratio, we see 810 calories in 3 scoops. So that tells us we're doing calories over scoops. Alright, so let's set up our ratio. There are 810 calories in 3 scoops of ice cream. And we're setting that equal to another ratio. We want to know how many calories are there in 7 scoops of ice cream. Does that 7 go on the top or does that 7 go on the bottom? Right, the 7 goes on the bottom because we're talking about scoops of ice cream. Okay, so then that leaves us X with the top. So now we cross multiply. I'm going to change colors here. 810 times 7. And that's going to be set equal to 3 times X. Alright, go ahead and draw your line. 810 times 7 gives us 5,670. And we're setting that equal to 3 times X, which is 3X. Okay, we want X by itself, so we need to do some division. 3 divided by 3 just gives us X. So 5,670 divided by 3 gives us 1,890 for an answer. But now since we're solving a word problem, what does that 1,890 mean? Does it mean dogs, cats? Right, it means calories. That's what we found. So our answer is 1,890 calories in 7 scoops of ice cream. That's a lot. Alright, and our last problem. The Millers drove 105 miles on 3 gallons of gas. At this rate, how many miles can they drive on 10 gallons of gas? Alright, so let's set up our ratio. We're talking miles over gallons. Our first number is miles, our second number is gallons. Okay, so let's set that up. Alright, our first ratio was 105 miles and 3 gallons of gas. Okay, and we're setting that equal to another proportion. Now we want to know how many miles can they drive on 10 gallons of gas. So does that 10 go on the top or on the bottom? Right, it goes with our gallons, so it goes on the bottom and X goes on the top. Alright, so now we know how to solve this. We use cross products, so we multiply across. 105 times 10 is equal to, 3 times X. Okay, draw your line. 105 times 10 is 1,050, and that's equal to 3X. Okay, now we need to divide by 3 from both sides. Our 3's cancel out, we're just left with X. 1,050 divided by 3 gives us 350. Alright, and now we need a label. This 350 is standing for miles. So 350 miles in 10 gallons of gas. Alright, so that is how we do word problems. Please let me know if you have a question. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.